So today we have Mohammed Salameh, one of our clients from Saudi Arabia, and together we'll take you through what Mastt is. And then Mohammed will present to you a case study through a live in-app demonstration showing you how Mohammed and his team used real-time reporting to conquer program milestones using Mastt for their Muvi client. So a bit about me to start. I'm the MENA Regional Implementations Lead for Mastt. So what does that actually mean? Essentially, I manage all customer interactions post-sales. So making sure customers have a seamless onboarding experience, know how to use our application, ensure they're maximizing the most amount of value out of Mastt. Like many of you dialing in today, prior to joining Mastt, I was actually a client-side project manager. I worked in the UK and Australia across a variety of sectors for a company called Mastt Group, actually, which you guys may have heard of before. So a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. Please make sure you're all muted to reduce any noise. If you have any questions, we do have a questions box, I believe, on Zoom, so you can post your questions in there, and at the end of the session, we'll have a Q&A. We can go through those. Do share your opinions. We really value your feedback. And as I mentioned, a link to the recorded session will be emailed through at the end of the webinar. So a little bit about Mastt for those that don't know. Mastt began with our founder and CEO, Doug Vincent. You can see up there on the top left. So he's a former program manager and was working on large infrastructure projects for the Australian Defence Force. And as an engineer coming into the world of PMs, he was shocked when entering the industry that all projects were managed by spreadsheets. And on these larger projects, you could have hundreds of these spreadsheets. And when you look at them in time series over the life of the project, you could end up with thousands of spreadsheets. So it was sort of no surprise to him that all over the news, he was seeing these major cost and time blowouts, as we can see a few named there on the page. And this wasn't isolated to any specific sector. It was sector agnostic. And myself actually had a similar experience to Doug. That's actually why I left the world of project management and come and joined Mastt. So when we look at reporting, all reporting is really the same for projects. We've got our cost spreadsheets, got our schedules, be it MS Project or P6 Primavera, and for some less mature, we're still using spreadsheets for that too. And then we've also got our risk spreadsheets. And when it comes to the reporting time, we all do the same thing. We're consolidating or pulling this information out, and we're really just copying and pasting it into a variety of different reports and formats, depending on what the client likes to see or the preference from the PM. But essentially, they all achieve the same thing. And depending on the reporting cadence, being sometimes monthly or weekly, and I'm sure that you guys all resonate with this, or a lot of you will listening today, but the repetitious nature of doing these reports actually made it one of the least liked tasks by myself as a former PM, despite the importance of actually doing it. And further to that, it's easy to make errors in these spreadsheets, and it's also difficult to collaborate with your team working on the same document at the same time, generally at the 11th hour, trying to get everything across to the client. And then as we start to move from the project layer up to the program and portfolio, and as we can see here, we've got our SAD project manager who's having to produce all of these spreadsheets and convert them into reports. We've also got Mo pictured up here, who's smiling a little bit more now because he's using Mastt. But at the program level, we then aggregating that data and identifying any deconflict across the projects. And then we're also converting that data from all those spreadsheets and the reports at the project level into a program report, to then report up at the portfolio level. And all of this takes time. So project manager consolidates theirs, and it takes some time for the program manager to then consolidate their report. And eventually, once this gets up to the portfolio manager, you have outdated data and it makes it difficult to make timely decisions. It also starts to lead to thoughts around whether is the governance actually being followed. And it's very difficult to capture those lessons learned and mitigate those risks in a timely manner. So there must be a better way, right? Unfortunately, there is. It's been about a 3-year journey to get Mastt to where it is today, and there's a lot more amazing things to come. But essentially now what we've got is a nice elegant automated solution for the construction industry. We've got live interactive dashboards across your projects, programs, and portfolios. You can capture them by sectors or regions if you like. We can generate all these reports at a single click, and you've got this rich contextual data that makes it a lot easier for decision making. Now, I'd like to give a warm welcome to Mohammed Salameh, a client of Mastt. Mohammed's been with us for over 1.5 years now. Mo is an associate director for Compass Project Consulting, who has a presence across the MENA region. And Compass Project Consulting is actually the 2-time Construction Consultancy of the Year winner. And Mohammed in the last year was actually awarded prestigious accolade of Project Manager of the Year, which is an absolutely amazing accomplishment by Mo. He's got over 14 years of experience in the construction industry, and Mohammed oversees the majority of the construction projects in Saudi Arabia, specializing in food and beverage, entertainment, and hospitality. So today, Mo will take us through how him and his team have been using Mastt on their client Muvi Cinemas with a live demonstration in Mastt. So yeah, is there anything that I've missed there, Mohammed?
All good. I think you have covered all the introduction. Thanks for the introduction, Matt, and for the welcoming. Good morning, everyone. I'll take you through Mastt and how we at Compass got benefit from this reporting platform and how we're using it in all of our projects as of today. So I'm going to share my
I'll just jump quickly, Mo, first to the background. So I think if you just want to give everyone a bit of a background on, I guess, the relationship between Compass and Muvi Cinemas, and maybe a little bit about the program that you're working on, because it's a pretty cool, large program.
Of course. So we at Compass started working with Muvi back in 2019, starting from the first batch in Saudi Arabia. So far, we've been engaged with them in their program and portfolios, and we have accomplished successfully 18 complexes, with another 3 ongoing this year, for a total of 21 complexes as end of 2022. With a program value over the 700 million SAR, and a lot to come in the next 4 or 5 years as per Muvi expanding plan in the Kingdom of Saudi. So this is a bit of background what Compass is handling now with Muvi, and in the next coming slide, I'll show you how we've been reporting this program and a bit of how we did it before Mastt and how it's been improved a lot after we start using Mastt and as a reporting system and project control tool.
Yes. Right. So thanks for taking us through that, Mo. It's such an exciting program and huge program that you've got going on there. But yeah, let's get into the live demo if you want to share your screen. And I guess I'll just caveat for now that due to the sensitive nature of the client's data, we won't be using any of the client information, but we've come up with an environment that's similar to the one that Mohammed and his team use and what the client would see, just albeit with some example data.
So, to give an overview, this is the main page of Mastt reporting when you enter your username and password. You will have all of your projects listed in here. As Matt mentioned, this is a demo where we avoid such a sensitive information in sake of the confidentiality. So this is an individual project homepage. Once you enter in, you will have the project view where you can update your photos in a weekly basis, and any client or project stakeholder can go in and have a look on the project progress photos.
And I think,
Then
Mohammed, you use this really at the start of your sessions too, when you start your reporting, don't you? You go through sort of all the progress photos with the client. What's the latest that's happened to sort of set the scene when you're reporting through Mastt?
Yeah, exactly. So after that, you have the project description, where you have project summary for an executive update. It can be done on a weekly or fortnightly basis, and then you have the key stakeholders section. What also we have here, which is an amazing tool Mastt been developing, is the progress percentage, and you have three ways to monitor your progress, either against the payments being approved and paid, or against the time elapsed from the project. And the last one is the earned value, and it reflects the exact performance completion or progress completion on the side. And all of this being linked automatically with the cost and the schedule module, which we'll run it through in a bit, and it will be updated automatically. Then you have the project health, where you can just scroll your mouse on any of these and have a quick overview on your scope, your time, your cost, risk, safety, quality, and cash flow. If it's in green, you're all good. If it's in red, you have an issue. So you can just go into details from here and run it through any further detail you want to have your project. And if it's an amber, it's a flag being raised. So you need to draw your attention to this specific sector and keep monitoring it. So to give a really quick, a nice overview for the project health. And then we have the finance. So in finance, help us to have an overview for the overall budget, contract, contingency, risk, and what being spent or committed or uncommitted to the project. And we will have a further detail on this in the cost module. Then we go to the project schedule. So in cinemas, we have split the schedule to 5 or 6 main phases, starting from the startup, procurement, design, and construction, and then liability, DLP, and the closeout. And you can just put the main milestones you have for your project and start track this in a weekly basis or daily basis as you wish. So in the schedule, you have the baseline. At the same time, you have the actual, you have the planned and the actual as well. And one of the nicest tool here that automatically you will have an indicator to tell you whether this specific task is behind or ahead, whether it's red or green. And by just scrolling your mouse on it, it will give you if it's 2 or 3 days ahead or it's behind. So this also gives the project team an overview where we are in terms of the milestones. In cinemas, one of the main milestones, beneficial handover, so the client or the procurement team from the client. And this is the nice thing in Mastt, that everyone has his login and he can go in and have the same exact information. Everyone has it. So they can they use this to manage their client direct items from the procurement side and start arrange these deliveries to site based on the schedule we have here. Then we have the finance breakdown, where it gives you again the contract value against the spend or contingency. The bigger the bubble, the bigger the value, and it's been classified as per each other. And for the cash flow, we'll give you the same, how much you spend, what contingency you have, and what allowance you have in your project. And there's different ways to show that, either related or another option you want. Then we go to the risk, where...
Sorry, Mohammed, do you want to just come a little bit closer to the microphone? It's just the audio is dropping out a little bit.
Is it better now?
That's good.
Okay, good. So then we have the risk, which has been very beneficial for us to use it and classify all the risks we have in the projects. The green or the small bubble is the low or the minor risks, and the bigger and the red one is the major risk. Couple of filters here where you want to show risk based on its cost impact, or it's based on its time impact. So you can just change it from here and have any presentation you want for your risk. Same from here. You can have it in a couple of different ways. The other one we have, which is very important in cinemas, anyone who works in cinemas, is the procurement. So apart from the main contractor, we have between 20 to 25 other different suppliers coming under the client, where all these suppliers need to be tracked. So we have listed them in the Mastt procurement sector, mentioning the delivery date, the type of contract, and what is the expected date to deliver to site. And this can be as well tracked easily from everyone else. And the final one here is the finance sector, where it would give you an overview, and just in a second I'll go into more details in terms of the cost. So this is an overview on the homepage report for our individual project in Mastt. This has really been very helpful for us as Compass, especially in managing a big program like as Muvi, and have everyone easy access here and update the information and have the live update for the project. So before I go to the cost and risk material, one last thing, that if you want to have this printed off, what you can do is just download the report as a PDF, and then you will have an executive report in PDF ready to be sent to any of the stakeholders as well. This is how it will look like.
Yeah, I think this is a really important part for you guys too, isn't it? You'll issue those traditional, one-page summary reports, and then also jump into Mastt Live with your clients, so they can use the interactive tools in there.
Exactly. So this is what it looks like as a one-page report. Okay. So from here, we can go quickly to the cost, where all the costs being billed and everything you just want to know on the homepage being billed here. In a brief, we have a budget where you have all the breakdowns here, built in budget. You can attach any contract you want, any document as a reference as well.
Mohammed, just one moment. Do you have headphones there by any chance? The audio is just going a little bit crackly.
Okay. Okay, I can grab one. Just give me 1 second.
Sure.
Let me bring it up. Hello?
Yep, I can hear you.
Is it better now?
I think so. Yep.
Okay, good. So, yeah, budget is where you have all the breakdowns you want and build your budget in. You have the contracts as well. You can have the status, whether it's approved, pending, under signature, variations as well, where you can have all the update and all of your variation list here with all the supported documents can be uploaded as well. Same for cash flow. And then the last one you have is the payments, where you have all of this regarding your payment, whether it's been submitted, approved, any progress, and what is the value, and etc. This here really saves a lot of time, the cost module for everyone within the project stakeholders. So we have the client team can access and update his part, our team as well, aggregate all this information together and save a lot of administration hours of work as a comprehensive cost module. And once we talk about the program and portfolio now, you will see how this just makes the reporting much easier and more accurate and consistency. So going to the risk, just to give a brief about the risk as well, how this been built in the main page. So we have the same here in terms of the risks, the colors, but if you press on any of these risks, you can open here and you can have what the causes of the risk, what the mitigation being implemented to your risks, and what are the consequences, what the causes. Then you can implement a pre-mitigation scoring and after mitigation scoring for the risks, so everyone can have an overview and understand what the actions need to be done by when to try to avoid these risks on the projects. Down here, you will have list of all the risks, and it can be updated whether it's still open or closed based on the colors, sectors, and etc. So all these here are the same here as well. So this is overall on in terms of the individual projects. One of the nice thing in Mastt report as well, and the project health, all these red, amber, and green color being built based on a criteria you can create it as a project manager when to show which color you want based on your project nature. So I think this is all for the project individual. If I missed anything, Matt,
Yeah, no, I think
elaborate on this.
No, I think that's good. I think we've covered the project stuff. We're sort of running towards the end of the session, so I think jump into the program so we can see how you guys use the roll up of the data, and then we can have a quick look at the portfolio and how you also use it for your own internal reporting.
Yeah, program portfolio shall be quicker because overall it's the same in terms of project description, health, the same category, the same standard, but it will show for all projects together. So project stages where you can understand how many projects in each phase within your program. So I have 2 projects in red in terms of cost, 2 in green and 1 in amber, for example. The same for the finance, it will give you an overall finance overview for the entire program. If you want details, you will go to the project, the individual project, and going into the details of the project. This is a very nice tool here in Mastt where it show you a look back and a look ahead in terms of your program. So looking at here, you can see what was your baseline and what is the status and what was the plan of completion. And this will show you basically the late activities. At the same time, you have the week look ahead, and based on that, you can anticipate your timeline and act accordingly. Schedule, the same breakdown, but again, it will give you overall program. So you can, so here, for example, you know that Cinema 1 is in this stage, and Cinema 2 in this, Cinema 3, etc. Same for the finance, same for the cash flow. But it's overall all the program again. If you need details, you go to the project individual and have it there. Same for the risks. Show you how many risks you have in the program, what is in green, amber, and red. And this is how it's being classified here. Action register is another great tool here. So if you have some actions need to be done from a different stakeholders, what you have to do is just to list it here, and everyone has a login and log to the report or to the program. He see the action and he can start get it updated every couple of days or every week. Procurement is the same for the entire program, and at the end here you have a breakdown for each project as well, with a percentage of it. So this is as a program.
Yeah, I think the big thing there for your team, Mohammed, is that there's no sort of additional manual consolidation of information that you generally have with manual reports. You know, if it's information is in at the project level, like the schedule stuff, the cost data, the risk data, it all rolls up automatically and aggregates for you.
Well, absolutely. This is one of the main benefits of Mastt, because if we take Muvi, for example, before Mastt, we've been doing like 3-4 different reports for a different stakeholder, whether it's executive management, project team, operation, costs. And when you have a lot of report, the chance of some mistakes or discrepancy in the way it's presented will be bigger. But in Mastt, since everything being built in the individual project, you just have to turn into any other view you want, whether it's a program or a portfolio, without concern about the thing you might face when you use spreadsheets or the normal sort of reporting.
Yeah, we've hit time, Mohammed, so we might actually just jump back to this slide. I'm just cautious of people's time. But I guess the one other thing that, if you want to maybe stop sharing your screen, I'll get the slides back up. But yeah, thank you very, very much for that. And we'll go through the results slide. I guess the one thing that we sort of ran short on time there a little bit is that Compass also use it for their own internal reporting, where they aggregate, information from all clients. It might be one like they've got from, I guess, KSA, and you've got another one for UAE. So you can oversee and monitor all the work that you're managing. So yeah, I don't know if you want to go over quickly just any other results you mentioned.
Yeah, the main result, as mentioned, it's accurate and consistency and the weekly reporting from an individual to program or portfolio reporting with quick decision making. Even internally for our senior management, they can have look at the portfolio, see where there might potential issues, and then take an necessary action across all the company, whether it's here on UAE, etc. The amount of time being saved and admin being saved during collecting data and turn it to different reporting. This all been eliminated working in Mastt report. The last one is, of course, Compass always is looking to be proactive in terms of the industry reporting, and this working with Mastt being a big benefit to us as a Compass, and we look forward to keep this partnership with you guys.
Yeah, I think it's been great the way that Compass has adopted on Mastt, and it's been great to see the results that you're all getting there. And I guess a testament to that is that you started on Muvi Cinemas, but Compass have now made the decision to implement Mastt across all of your new projects, which is great and gives you the ability to do now your own internal reporting and stuff like that. So I guess we'll wrap it up there, but we always like to end on a bit of a quote. And this one's from Luke Somerville, the managing director and founder of Compass. And what he has to say is that having successfully trialed the software on a few of our portfolio clients, the advanced software has generated highly visible value and cost savings on our large contracts, which is always great to hear from your customers. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining today, and a huge thank you for Mohammed for taking us through how he uses Mastt and what Mastt looks like for Muvi Cinemas. And I hope that everybody that tuned in today has found today's webinar quite beneficial. And if anyone would like a demo or to know more about Mastt, my details are on the screen there, but the team will also send out an email on the back of this to all the registrants with contact details and also a recording of the webinar. So I might open the floor to Q&A. So if anyone has questions, I can see that we've got a few questions in there. We'll open the floor to questions and we'll go through a few of those. So with Stuart's asked, with regards to the data in the project report, does this all directly link into systems used for program cost and risk? For example, will the schedule info interact automatically with any updates in Primavera? I guess I might take this one, and if I'm understanding it correctly, Mastt just looks at those higher level milestones. At the moment, the way that Muvi's got it doesn't, I guess it's not integrated directly because you are just looking at those higher level milestones, and Primavera is still used for that detailed level day-to-day information, where Mastt is looking at just those high level milestones. Did you want to add anything to that, Mohammed?
And this is the concept in Mastt to have this milestone program, which is the way it's been reported. And for the more detail, it can be done through Primavera or other tools.
Right, so we've got another question here to show you how a document is uploaded. So we've really it's quite simple, like uploading a document in any software. You can just attach it to store your documents on there. I think it might be the same person that's asked and followed up with how is typical data entered for Mastt. So I guess we've got a combination of ways, but there's fields where project managers are putting in the information each month. And then we've got, once you set up Mastt, you've already got all your contracts and stuff like that in there. So it's, I guess, similar to your spreadsheet in terms of putting in the information, but in a, controlled environment where you can upload that data. All right, please share more links for videos. So the team will send out some links for some videos for you to watch through. Can Mastt only be used for projects with cost consultant role only? So I guess this is probably a good one for you to answer, Mohammed. So can it work for just cost teams or can it work for PM teams? I think is what they're asking there.
Yeah, for both actually. It's for both teams. going in and update their input and their feedback. And then at the end, you will have the combined report. Usually what we do in Muvi, so the cost team go and enter their feedback, and then the PM, and then we have a senior or director guy to have a full overview before, for example, issuing a reporting. If this has answered the question correctly.
Yeah, and I guess I'll just add to that, other clients that we do have just project management firms that use it for, the schedule, the risk side, and just the commentary and health around their project. And then we do also have QS or cost consultants that, to get them out of their spreadsheets, they use Mastt for all their financial information. And the real power in that is that it's so easy to then aggregate all of that information, because Mastt does it for you. You're not having other spreadsheets talking to other spreadsheets trying to aggregate that data, and then you can produce those reports easily from Mastt. We've got another question here. Can we import any of the data available in other formats? I guess it probably depends on what exactly you're importing, but yes, there are ways to import data from different formats. Just depends on what it is. Can it be exported from Excel to Mastt database? So it's a common question, and it really depends on what you're trying to export across. Sometimes it's very unstructured data from Excel. We do have templates, and if data is in a controlled way, then we can upload it. But part of my role and my team's role is generally going through the data and almost doing an audit on it before we do an implementation. And often there's lots of mistakes, so it's not as simple as just grabbing a spreadsheet and feeding it into a machine and uploading it, unfortunately. But Mastt helps with that process of getting all that in there for you when it does get complicated. And or from Mastt to Excel. So in Mastt, pretty much everything you could see today either exports to PDF or Excel. So all of your cost stuff, if you do want to get it out, you can export it to Excel, same as your risk register, which will look the same as your risk register. So that's all the questions we've got. So what we might do is we'll wrap it up there. If there's no further questions. And once again, I'd just like to say a huge thanks to Mohammed, and thanks everyone for joining today's session. Not sure, Mohammed, if you wanted to say any final closing comments.
I just would like to thank you, Matt. Thanks for this opportunity, and thank everyone who attended this webinar. I hope it's been helpful, and I hope many organization people will get benefits from Mastt as we did at Compass.
Excellent. Well, thank you everyone, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Bye for now.
Bye.